So welcome along to another edition of Fundamental Golf. Today we're really, really excited to have Scott Blaney with us, who is representing himself and also Battleback Golf. You're sporting a t-shirt, a Battleback Golf t-shirt.
Yeah, got the t-shirt on. Yeah,
nice. Obviously, as usual, Emma's here as well. So hello, Emma.
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
So how is everyone? Let's start there. How is everyone today?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Yeah, enjoying the cold weather again after a nice sunny few days. But yeah,
good. It's a bit weird, isn't it? We've had the kids out and shorts, t-shirts, a lot, bikes out, all of it out, and then today we've gone out again and we're all back wrapped up, woolies, hats, and everything. Have you been out?
Guess what? I was wearing Bob's back out, and I got a heated gilet for Christmas. I was wearing that, snug as bugs.
Heated? What? Do you have to charge it up and all sorts?
So you get like a little battery pack, and then you plug it in, and then you've got this little button that you can press. Oh, it's beautiful.
Like a mini radiator.
It is a mini radiator. It just like sits, and it's like ooh. And Scott, like you when you come to the Kennershire, probably in summer that's in to wear shorts, but I get cold all the time, and it's like a running joke with everyone at the Kennershire. So Emma's wearing 85 layers again today.
It's one of them. We used to think it was like I used to take the mickey thinking she'd been going snowboarding or skiing or something, but it's actually worse than that. She literally looks like she's on an expedition to the South Pole. It is like
on a summer's day.
On a summer's day, yeah. I have sunglasses on though.
Yeah, of course. You've got to look the part. So, Scott, to let everybody know, tell us about yourself a little bit. Obviously, we're golf, so we want to know how you got into golf, what you did for work, and we'll come on to some of the more interesting things a little bit later. But let's start there for now.
So I mean, well, where can I start? I probably played a little bit of golf before I joined the army. Yeah, but I went to the range a handful of times, if that. But I was reasonably okay. I could play off a good handicap, and then joined the army in back end of 2003, and all that through went through to the Queen's ceremonial duties. So for guys who don't know, I joined the Grenadier Guards, who are the Queen's personal bodyguards, as they've been labelled as, and so took part in the Troop in the Colour, took part in guarding the Buckingham Palace, guarding St James's Palace, doing all that, and then going from that to going exercises abroad, like in Kenya, Canada, all that sort of good stuff, and then eventually the regiment was deployed to Afghanistan in it would have been February, April time, 2007. And that's unfortunately when we come into quite heavy contact. There's quite a lot of firefights. And in May, the 25th of May, 26th of May, my section was basically hit with an IED, and I ended up losing my right leg. My friend lost his right leg. Unfortunately, one of my best friends was killed. And then a few of the lads were injured as well. So a 6-month section completely enough wiped out by one IED. Well, I'm sure we'll cover that later on. And then bit of rehab after that. And then I found Battleback Golf at Headley Court through a guy called Zeno Gomez. And as it is, the rest is history. I've been playing ever since. And that was in 2008.
Wow. So that's in the space of 5 years, joining, coming back out, and you're back into golf. That's quite. Yeah. It's not as many years as you think, is it? Really, and not short.
Well, I only come out in the army in 2016. I stayed in while I was having my missing leg. Missing leg. So I stayed in for a number of years after. Got promoted and did a few courses here and there. It was basic Netherall Barracks, which is the Royal School of Miniature Music. I was like a instructor over there. Did a bit over there, but I was still playing golf and I was still at the regiment. Obviously, you know about my challenge running across the Atlantic. Did that as well whilst I was serving. And then
he has done some seriously cool stuff. Seriously cool stuff.
Oh my God!
We'll come on to that. But then I left in 2016. I was medically from the army.
Is that medically discharged?
Yeah,
that's the one, isn't it? Yeah. So I want to know about the early golf first, if you don't mind. Em, you can jump in any time. Can you remember the first time you picked up a golf club?
Yeah, I can. It was my brother, actually, and the range is no longer there. And it was only called Plowell Golf Range, and it was literally a farmer's field, and the farmer had a shed, and it was full of old knackered golf clubs. And we went there. And we used to go there and have a laugh. And we used to be them like thugs on the ranges that no one likes because they're just whacking balls into the ceiling because they have no idea. And that was what I was kind of into. Yeah, them guys. And then we've all been there, and we all know it. But yeah, and I was kind of like one of them, and we played a bit, and I got really into it. And I was probably going every other day, really.
Wow.
But then, yeah, and that was before I lost my leg, and I had probably about 3 or 4 rounds of golf, if that. But yeah.
Did you fall in love with it? Oh, sorry. Go on.
Did you play as a junior, Scott?
No, never. No.
Did you do any other sports as a junior or a kid?
Yeah, I mean, I was always rugby. My dad's a massive rugby player. He was semi-professional when he was a young lad. He used to play for Manor Park in the Nuneaton Nuns. So he's played for them, and then me and my brother are always sporty. And my brother now, he's a surfing instructor on the Isle of Wight.
Oh,
so so he just kayaking around there and everything. So we've always been kind of sporty, but we get onto why golf is played such a bigger part. I mean, any sport does really for everybody, depending on what your sport is. I mean, I do a lot of jiu-jitsu as well, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, which is a ground-based martial arts.
Well, I was going to bring that up, that you loved a little bit of a rollabout, didn't you? I saw some of your videos on your Instagram. We'll talk about that a little bit later on again. But I wanted to really quickly touch about the rugby, because I'm obviously rugby head. I know Emma hates me talking about rugby.
No, it's all good. I like rugby.
Did you play for Manor Park as well, or did you play local?
No, so I grew up playing for the Nuns. I was in the Nuns Academy as a young lad, as a junior, and did all my sport all the way up until I was 17, 18, and then joined the army and played a bit in the army against officers. And yeah, it was good fun. And it was just a kick-in, really. I loved it.
Yeah, I was only asking because obviously I'm from up your way originally, and I grew up playing for the Kidderminster Carolians. I don't know if you knew who they were.
I know. Yeah.
I came across them, and that's where my old man played, and then my old man played a bit in the Worcester area as well. So it's a small world, isn't it? And the rugby world is small anyway, isn't it?
But don't you find that with golf though? It's such a bizarre small world. Like you go, oh yeah, I know them, and then they know someone, when it comes back to golf, like my sister's husband, he installed a gas meter somewhere in Chippenham like a few years ago, and it got onto the subject that their daughter played golf, and I knew her from county level, which I just think is such a bizarre small world with sport.
It is a small world, because you played with Sophie Walker as well.
Yeah.
And I chatted to Sophie, and it was it was mad. And I was like, how the channel's crossing. It's bizarre how everyone then all of a sudden, especially on Instagram as well, everybody just knows each other. It's bizarre. And it is a small world. All the PGA pros know each other, and it's like, oh, he works at the kennel show, or he works here and he works there, and it's mad how small it can be. But we're all playing the game we love. Hopefully soon. This month.
Hopefully, I think it's sport in general, isn't that? Sporting relationship. So I've got rugby friends, football friends. Not that I ever played football. I've got like feet like slabs, so that's definitely not on the agenda. But sport in general just creates these amazing opportunities to meet people and socialise with people, and I think we're all quite like-minded, aren't we? The sporting people. I know individual athletes get a bit of a tough time sometimes, but don't find that with golf. I don't think it's quite a social sport in general, don't they? But other than that, I think it's all good.
Scott, when you were in the army, did you ever want to go like play in the golf teams or something? Because I know like the military, their golf teams are epic.
Yeah, I mean, I was never good enough really at that stage. Before I started taking golf seriously after my injury. After having my leg amputated, I never really took golf seriously. It was rather rugby in the regiment, or because I was based at Wellington Barracks in central London, there's not really anywhere to play. So it was all indoor sport, and a lot of grappling as well. We did a lot of that. And it was just, I never really, I mean, that was quite a lot of officers who played, and it was different regiments who kind of got into the teams. And I've played with the army lads, and I know a lot of guys who are on the army golf team, and I'll probably be hated for saying it when it gets out there, but a lot of them are tracksuit soldiers. So if you become good at a sport, they would go, right, son, follow me. You go represent the army. We'll pay you. You represent the army. Go for Great Britain. Do what you want. Do it. Like Liam Dean, who's a bobsledder. He was in the Grenadier Guards. He's now bobsleds for GB in the Winter Olympics. So you know what I mean? So and I think he's still employed by the army now. But the army sport is massive. Like army sport is huge. From hockey to fencing to everything, you name it, the army do it. Polo, a lot.
It's incredible. I love that. I love that about the armed forces. That all sports are welcomed with open arms, and you're encouraged to play. But I think that's what kind of Josh Lucy was doing a little bit, wasn't he? He was in the forces, and then not that he got released as such from the army. He had a special permission, didn't he, to play professional rugby at the same time? Is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
I only know that because I was a bit of a rugby geek back in the day. Do you know Josh Lucy?
Yeah, is he the one? Was he the one that played for Bar? Did he play at Bar for the end?
No, I think
there's another lad. There's another lad. There's a Fijian lad who was in the army, and he was in the army team, and now he's playing for England. It's mad. If you're good at a sport in the forces, you can play it for the rest of your life.
Rockin' Dooney, is that his name?
I think his name. Yeah, I want to pronounce it wrong. I was trying to think of it.
I went for it. So if I offended anybody, I apologise. I'm sure it is. I'm going to have to find that out. But
because isn't there every year like a massive Army Navy rugby match at Twickenham?
It's a huge match. Yeah, it's the biggest amateur watch sport ever. Because it was. I was born. Well, grew up in Warminster, which was a garrison town, and then I worked at Uphaven Golf Club, Tidworth, all of that. So you probably have heard about Tidworth, and that's loads of the guys used to go there, and they were like, "Oh, you should come along," but it just never kind of worked, and never was able to. But the stories, all of you guys and girls get up to is ridiculous. We won't go too much into that.
Yeah, no, I think we haven't got enough time for that. But yeah, it was hilarious. The stories. Classified, can't chat. But yeah, I loved it. It was brilliant. And is that why you wanted to get into the army? Just like, did you always want to get into the army?
Believe it or not, I've got a big family of military throughout from my granddad's side and my mum's side, from my dad's side, and my mum's side, both grandfathers and their grandfathers and their dads and their grandfathers, all in the military, all the way down. And originally I wanted to join the Navy because I thought, I'll join the Navy because that's what my granddad did. And my dad was in the Fire Brigade, and I thought I'd do that. And anyway, I got to the careers office, and the guy who's in front of me goes, I've come to join the Navy. He goes, no, you haven't. Come and have a look at the army. Come and think about this. And it was, and I thought at the same time I was up in arms of what I wanted to do. Did I want to go into the Paras, or did I want to go into the Guards or the Navy? I was thinking of all these things and thought, I'd take a role to join the Grenadier Guards. That's what a thing to do. Put that red tunic on, the bearskin hat. Everybody knows who you are. You get your pitched up by thousands and thousands and thousands of people every summer when you stand on the public post.
Big tourism attraction, aren't you, as well?
Big tour, and everyone says, it's a change in the Guards, right? And that's the whole reason it's said, is because I've done the change in the Guards. So I thought, why not? I'd just join it, and I've never looked back. Loved it. Absolutely loved
it. That is amazing.
It's an incredible career, isn't it? And it's more than a career, isn't it? It's a lifestyle. It's everything. You kind of get involved with that, and it just molds you for life. I feel. I think.
It's a career at the same time, like you said, but at the same time, it's you join a family, and you're joining history, and it's in like the history of the regiment, the history of the British Army, and then I've got mates now, brothers who I still talk to this day. I mean, I could pick up the phone now and they go, "You're all right," and they're guaranteed one person would answer. It'd be the army lads who I ring.
And is there quite I don't want to call it fraternity? Is there like a massive family if you were in the American military, or different parts? If you're in military, are you
multinational?
once you're part of that military family, regardless of where you're from, does it matter, or is it?
Yeah, that's it. We've all seen the same line of duty, and we've all stood across it, and we've all serving one purpose, and that's our country. And you've all brothers in arms, no matter where you come from, the colour of your skin, and who you are. It's the same, or what sex you want to be. We've all brothers and sisters in the end of the day, and it's a great thing to be a part of. I would suggest anybody to join any of the forces, wherever they are. It's brilliant.
So cool.
Funny enough, I nearly joined the first forces. Not this is about me at all, but it's not really a funny story. I was literally kicking my heels, not knowing what to do, and I went and joined because my uncle was in the RAF and still works as a civvy now. I can't remember what he does now, and he'll kill me for not knowing what he does, but we'll talk about that another time. And I thought, I'll go and join the RAF. My uncle did it, whatever. And I literally had hardly any qualifications to my name. I thought, oh yeah, whatever, I'll sit down. And I was like, oh, I think I might want to be like a PT or something like that, or I don't know, or weapons and arms. And I can't remember what I was chatting. And this bloke was looking across at me like some kind of idiot, just looking at me. And then I mentioned that I played rugby, going back to the sport thing. And I can remember it to this day. You play rugby? Who did you play rugby for? And that was it. It was kind of, and I was getting dragged into it. And then all of a sudden I got an apprenticeship doing something else, so I didn't. So when I say I nearly joined, I went and dipped my toe and then did a booter.
There you go. Considering you've got a guy on with one leg and he's disabled, the leg puns, you're killing him. Kicking my heels, feet like slabs.
You're like, oh my God, that's really awkward.
I love that. Look, last time we spoke, or I don't know if it was not last time we spoke, but I think it was the first time we spoke, Scott. I dropped one and I couldn't stop thinking about it all night because I said I can't remember what I was talking about, but I've got terrible knees, haven't I? My knees are rubbish, and I actually made the comment, yeah, my knees are blown to bits, and then I just went, I'm not going to swear, and in my head I was like, probably shouldn't have said that. So, if I drop another bomb, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
After it all happened, and anyone would make a comment like that, did you take absolute offence to it, or do you all just have to laugh it off? I don't know how you laugh it off, but like, do you just go like?
No offence at all. It's one of them things where if it makes you smile, it'll be good. Well, I say it makes you smile, it'll be good for you. It's the sense of humour and the banter within the regiment got me through a lot of my dark days. Like,
I bet
lads coming to hospital, hiding my legs, and when using Headley Core, I used to get my mates. He was a double amputee at the time. I used to put his double leg on a shelf. So
get those. Wow.
Yeah, get them. Yeah, and they'd be. But that's the banter, and that is because it just if you're having a bad day, it knocks you. It doesn't knock you about, but it gets you smiling, going, "That's quite a good one, actually."
Yeah,
and
that is quite good.
Like, I had guys changing my feet over, so I'm missing my right leg. I had guys go to the prosthetic centre, get a child's foot and put a child's foot on the end of my leg. So I had like a size 3 foot, and it was just. And I used to get left feet put on there all the time. It was just. I had lads buying me shoes, just one pair, one left shoe from hospital, bring it into hospital. But it's that way. It's brilliant. The banter won't go on, and it's
it's so funny. Like I absolutely love that, and we spoke about this briefly before as well. Emma, a mate of mine has got he's got a prosthetic leg that play rugby. I'm not going to mention his name because last time I didn't really think he mentioned his name, and he was like, oh. So James Russell, a lad that we play rugby with, I think he had an article written about him in a magazine, and I know I said this last time, but for playing the highest standard of rugby with a disability of some sort, I think he was along those lines. But I tell you what, his best mates used to hide his leg all over the rugby change rooms. They used to do all sorts to it, and it's just like I said to you last time. His foot snapped off in one of the games, so his foot was hanging and banging around. The referee's like, like thinking it's like the worst injury he's ever saw, and he's like, "Get me the screwdriver!" So like screwing it all back in. But he, like I said, the banter from him, he's worse than anybody. He's a nightmare. I won't go into too much details about the banter and stuff, but we drink out of his leg. His leg is like the rugby club's drinking vessel, so it's the leg of death, we call it. It's like 3.5 pints, so that's great fun. And he's actually started his own, I'm not that this is a plug for his business, but he's just started his own little business like kind of venture, and it's called Aeropeg, because a lot of people call him Peg for obvious reasons. And it's called Aeropeg, and it's a drones business where he flies his little drones around. So and takes photos, and you'll love that we said that. But yeah, Peg, not Aeropig, Aeropeg, and the band. But it's just like, again, the banter is. I've had some of my funniest rugby adventures with that bloke, and the things that we get up to, and taking his leg off and making people drink out of it in all sorts of situations. There's photos everywhere all over Facebook, but yeah, no, I can appreciate the banter. I really do. So,
love it.
Moving on really swiftly to a little bit of a different subject. Well, it's not a different subject; it's a similar subject. But I want you to talk us through the day, or not the day, or the events leading up to you getting injured and everything that happened throughout those few days, moments of time. So, could you give us like what's the word? A point by point kind of. Like a story, basically, really quickly. We'll edit that out as well because that was rubbish. What's the time?
Don't worry about it, then.
Yeah. So in terms of being deployed over there, and then what happened going through, is that all right?
Yeah, I mean, so it was the May, so 26th of May, in Gomsir, which is the southern Helmand, basically, and it was where the Taliban training grounds were. And our objective was to basically disrupt the enemy down there, disrupt the Taliban, and try and force them back to repopulise the village of Gomsir with civilians. Because obviously, what a lot of people don't know is that we was over there for hearts and minds and helping out the Afghan civilians and trying to repopulise the places they was chucked out of by the Taliban, and to get them back into these towns. So we was over there, and we'd been there for about 3 months, and we'd saw some quite heavy combat at the time, and we'd lost a few lads, and it was really, really kind of building up to something as such. And there was a place called Eastern Checkpoint and JTAC Checkpoint, which was one was like on a mound of earth, and the other one was like an old disused petrol station. And we basically had them out each day. You'd patrol out under fire, and you'd patrol back under fire, and you'd be up in the mornings, up at the nights. And yeah, I mean, to put in perspective, what they said at the end of our tour was our life expectancy as we left the FOB, which is a forward operating base, was 3 seconds. So you'd walk out of that FOB, and that 3 seconds would be your life expectancy of how long or how quick you'd be judged to last, basically, in a firefight. So that's how much combat we kind of saw in a nutshell. So the day of the 26th, we was basically being contacted from a place called Three Farms, and it was just a courtyard with 3 farm buildings inside the courtyard, hence 3 farms. So to put that in perspective, if you a lot in the armed forces, you sit and you say what it is, and that's what it's written down as. Yeah. Like Eastern Checkpoint was the Eastern Checkpoint because it was east. Yeah. So that's the reason why you're
simple is best.
That's amazing.
Simple is best.
Yeah, simple is best. So 3 Farms is where we was. And then right next to a place called Frog Eyes, which looked like a frog lying down, hence Frog Eyes. So that was basically what we was patrolling out to. And we'd been told there was certain Taliban in the area, and we needed to go out and disrupt them, push them back, and see what's happening. So they sent the platoon out. I was 3 platoon, 3 section, and we was the assaulting section. So we was going straight up the middle. We had 1 going left and 2 going right, as an assaulting frame to sort of see what's going on. So as we patrolled out, no contact, everything's fine. Got to this certain point where we kind of took a knee, and then all hell broke loose. We got contacted from every point you can imagine, from behind and front to our left to our right. It was coming in from everywhere, and So we basically, as an assaulting section, went up through into the compound and started clearing the buildings that are in there, faulting our way through, and putting rounds down the range, as they say. So as we got to the middle of the courtyard, so you can imagine, guys, if you can think in your heads, it's just a square, and there's obviously all your walls, and straight across the middle of this courtyard, straight across this square courtyard, was an irrigation ditch, probably about waist height. And then I was a GPMG gunner, so I was a general purpose machine gunner, and I was being contacted, and I got told to run forward and put effective fire down, so the rest of my section come in and peel in behind me and get into the ditch. And did that, got into the ditch, put effective fire down where we was being contacted from. The rest of my section peeled in behind me, and then I remember my friend Sully was about to fire an eye-law into this building, into this compound where the enemy were, where the Taliban were. And I turned to my left like that, and then bang, the ditch would blow up, and the command wired the ditch. So they basically booby-trapped the ditch with a command wire, and then with a clicker on the end of it. So it's just a bit of wire with a spark, and they can trigger it with like a battery or whatever they trigger it with. And it's daisy-chained a bunch of IEDs, and then, blew the trench up. So 6 guys in my section. Dan, my best mate, was killed instantly. Next to me, he was probably not even an arm length away. And then you had Paul behind me, who suffered massive, horrible shrapnel wounds to his face and broke both his femurs, broke both his legs. Sully was blown back and took all shrapnel to his side and inside of his face. And then the other lad, Dan, Nick lost his leg, and took all bad shrapnel to the back of his back. And then Dan was blown over into another ditch, and he was the only one without a scratch on him. And then it was just mad, because I remember sitting up. I mean, if you can interrupt me at any stage if you want to, but I remember sitting up.
I will.
Feeling this really. Go on.
Yeah. So I'm imagining, right, and feel free to shoot me down at any time you want. But
there's another one, Ben. Shoot me down. Jesus.
I'm terrible at this. I was literally imagining something that you would see on the telly in terms of having like a button to press that was like wired up to like Wally Coyote kind of style with Roadrunner with the TNT, or is that what you're like, with a wire with a big long fuse, click, and it's gone. And it just
it could have been that, or they just had 2 batteries in their hand and they just put the 2 ends of the wires to the battery. So it could have just been that. I mean, we don't really know how they did it. But that's, you can imagine what it was like if you think in your head and you imagine you Call of Duty when the bombs are dropping, because we had the artillery dropping at the time, and there was RPGs coming in, and they was trying to they wanted a platoon of blokes down. So at the same time when they blew us up, 1 section, 2 section were contacted at the same time. So everybody was pinned down, and no one knew what was going on. And it was tough. And I can't remember most of it, but I can remember vaguely bits. So I may be wrong about a few pieces, but it was just, I can't describe it. I mean, it was just like bonfire night, but everything coming in at one section.
Did you think that was it? Or were you just
100%. I remember.
Sorry, go for it. No, you go for it.
So I sat up, and I remember hearing thumping, like going around me, and it was the rounds from the Taliban who were firing back, from the enemy firing back at us to try and get rid of the strays if there was any. And then I remember feeling this intense burning on my leg. It was like being, how can I describe it without being too graphic?
Go for it.
I don't think you could explain that. I generally don't think you could.
It was like, I don't know, it's like a really intense, I say Chinese burn, but they're like not even that bad. But
is it like a stinging nettle burn? Because they're really bad.
I say, like a stinging nettle. I can't describe how bad how the feeling was. People said I didn't feel anything. I feel like I felt everything, because I just started screaming. The pain was that bad, and then I started screaming, and I was pulling myself back, and a guy called Scott Blaney got to me first and dragged me back. And I remember him dragging me back, and my left foot come with me, but my right foot stayed where it was.
Wow.
And it was just like, it was just like someone had stretched the middle bit out. So I had no knee and no shin, but I had like little bits attached to my foot.
Can you remember how that felt straight away? Was there an instant like, without swearing too much, we swore last week and got told off for it?
I remember flying up. I remember coming up through the air and landing on top of the mound. And I remember all of it. Yeah, I remember the burn, the smell, the taste. Like the taste of like just like acid, secret battery acid in the air. Like when you plug a battery, you can kind of taste the back of your throat. Felt that, and it was just smoking, silent. And then the next thing you know, there's rounds coming in, there's RPGs coming in, and then
so it's like one of those. Well, it must have been just impossible to kind of take everything in, or is it the complete opposite, where actually because it is so wild, you are taking everything in, and you're really noticing what's going on, where you're in this state of like,
I knew everything. I didn't lose consciousness. I didn't really get morphine until slightly after it happened, and there was lads rushing around and trying to figure out what's going on, and they're trying to fight back. The enemy are close within like meters, like nearly meters away, literally meters away. And then a guy called Darren Chant, who unfortunately was killed in 2007, ran up through. He was a drill sergeant at the time. He ran up through and just stood in front of everybody like a godly figure. He was well known of in the Grenadier Guards. He was our badge for a few years. And basically said, right, this is what's going on. You're getting him, I'm getting him. Pick me up, put me on my shoulders. And he put on his shoulders and just said, right, guys, follow me, we're getting out of it. And led the platoon out of the contact, under fire, rounds whizzing around our heads and our feet. I remember, and this is graphic, but I remember my leg just flapping and kicking, and the tourniquet was on at this point, and my arm had all been smashed up as well, which I only found out until they looked at my wounds. All my eye was damaged. I had a bleed on the brain. I had everything going on. And they put me down, and they was raiding trying to get the HLS in, which is like an ambulance, a helicopter ambulance, basically, for the guys who don't know. And trying to get it closer, but they can't get too close because of the RPG fires coming in quite hot, and the hundreds of, like, not hundreds of Taliban, but there was a lot at this stage. And I finally got to where JTAC Hill is, and that's when the doctor was there, and they filled me full of morphine, put fluids into me. So they drilled a hole straight into my shin to get fluids into me, tightened my tourniquet up, assessed my arm damage, and then next thing you know, I'm getting put on a Chinook, and they've put me next to Paul, and I'm holding his hand, and he can't see, and I'm telling him everything's going to be all right, mate. Don't worry, we're fine, we're all right, we're safe. And I woke up in Selleck Hospital.
So, where's that hospital?
Selleck Hospital in Birmingham.
Oh, so you've literally, do they fly you all straight back straight away, and then you're in?
No, so I went to Bastion first, which is the field medical centre, field hospital, Camp Bastion. I can't remember too much being there. I remember waking up.
That's a name I haven't heard for a long time. Camp Bastion is something that you heard on the news, like week in, week out. Can you remember that? Jeez, yeah. Sorry, carry on.
So I remember waking up there and seeing my old, I think he was a colour bloke at the time, guy called OH, and believe it or not, Ross Kemp.
Oh.
Ross Kemp?
Ross Kemp was stood at the end of my bed, and I was trying to figure out, because they looked the same, right? And I was kind of going, what is going on? I've seen two of OH. And he's like, hang about, that's Ross Kemp. I was like, I literally, that's one thing I remember seeing. And then I asked my mate Sully a few months after, when he come to hospital to visit me, I went, "Is Ross Kemp at Bastion?" He goes, "Yeah." You spoke to him. He kept calling it. He kept laughing at me, making jokes, because he pretended to be in the SAS when he did that TV series. I kept making jokes with him, which I can't remember. I woke up in And then a few months later, I woke up in Scenic Hospital, and that's when basically I thought to myself, well, I can't lie here and solve myself. I can't grab my leg back, but I can certainly start walking again. They can take my leg, but what they can't take is my heart, my passion, my brain, my drive, and the enthusiasm to just carry on, improvise, adapt, and overcome.
Was being in that hospital kind of the thing? Were you all the same mindset? Were you all kind of like, right, let's just crack on with it, or definitely was some like giving up on it, or
no? I was, when I got into Bastion, there was only 3 of us there, three army lads, and I woke up in a civilian ward. So I was like, who are these people? Where's like all the military guys, and where's these like who do I speak to? Where do I go? What's going on? And then after so long, more and more people start getting injured, and there was more casualties, and then they turned the whole ward then S4 into a military ward, and all the lads are the same. They just want to get back out and see their mates and let them know they're all right. And the army teaches you that. It teaches you to improvise, adapt, and overcome whatever you can. And if it's losing a limb, then you just go, right, yeah, you can take that limb, but you're not going to stop me running, or you're not going to stop me doing this, you're not going to stop me that. And all the lads who I know are the same.
I've got a question for you then, Scott, and this might be a quite strange question, but it's one that triggered in my head straight away, was that as you're sat there and you know that you've got to get on with these things, did you consider yourself to be lucky or unlucky in the situation that you found yourself in?
So, can you see that on my arm?
Yeah. Oh, I can, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So lucky then. That answers that question.
For people who can't see that, I've got a tattoo lucky on my arm, and the littlest bit of skin I've got left on my elbow. So I've got no skin on my elbow, as you can, and that's the only little bit of skin that was left. So I thought, well, no, it's lucky. I get tattooed lucky on it, and at the same time, you probably answer this question later on. But losing my leg and being blown up, and okay, took my best friend from me, but I still carry his name on my back, and it's the best thing that ever happened to me. In one sense, because I would have never been in the position I am now. I would never have 2 beautiful daughters that I've got. I've been never meet the guys I've met, guys like yourselves. Yeah. I'd never read across Atlantic. I'd never swum the channel. I'd never done my marathons. I'd never done my bike rides. I'd never done any of that.
That's what I was going to make a point of. You've done some incredible things since.
Yeah,
some absolutely incredible things. And I think even what happened, that's incredible in itself, and how you've managed to overcome that. And even to be sat here and talk to us about it in such a way that is just as intense, comical, talking about all the other things that have been happening, Ross Kemp being there, it's actually really, really like a really powerful point. I think that's really, really important that you're able to be like that. And I'm really happy that you feel like you're lucky to be out of that situation, because I know a lot of people might not be able to manage it the same. And it just proves how strong you are and how well prepared you were for those situations, just because of everything you've been through anyway. I mean, it's incredible.
But if you get onto the subject of golf and how that's played its part, I mean, okay, if you look at my Instagram, I am a laughy, jokey lad, and I've never taken life too seriously. Probably should, but I just laugh, and I think laugh, love, and do what you want, and everything will work out in the end, no matter what you're going through. And do the things you're passionate about. And golf, I was really struggling with my mental health, unannounced to anybody. My partner, my wife, not a lot of people knew, and including my mates. And I couldn't feel like I opened up to them, because I was listening to their stories and listening to their problems and going, look, this is going. Don't have to stop fighting these wars in your head, and this is what we're going to do. And at the same time, I was fighting the same wars. I was having horrible flashbacks. And because where I rubbed my leg when I got blown up, I don't know why I rubbed my leg, but when I got blown up, and I kind of like moved my hands, and I had blood all over my hands, and it was dripping off my hands, and it was everywhere. And I was covered in claret, and every time I closed my eyes, I couldn't get that vision and that thought out of my head. Couldn't do it. I was at the point I was scared to go to sleep. I was turning to the bottle, thinking that would help because it helped me sleep and just forget the pain. And at the same time, then I was having the wars, thinking, I'll just end it and forget it. And that way, then I won't have the pain in my head. And then I met a guy called Zeno Gomez who helped found Battleback for a guy called Lieutenant Colonel Tristan Crew, who you should get on the podcast, by the way. Absolutely incredible guy. He helps do the PGA, and I think Emma's seen him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally. Yeah. Do you know what? I recognise that name. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was in the military.
He founded Battleback.
No, he was on a podcast I watched the other day with Rick Shields.
Was he? Yeah, that was him.
Yes.
Yeah. And I was on the same podcast. I was on the same one after.
That's incredible.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so he founded Battleback, and then I went to the range to see. He was a master professional, a guy called Phil Taylor, not a darts player, obviously, but Phil Taylor.
That's the first thing that popped into my head. I was like, what? And golf.
Yeah. He was a master professional down in Leatherhead. Went and seen him, hit a few balls at the range, and then played at Tyrrell's Wood with a good mate of mine as well, who helps run the Instagram page, Matt Wiskin. And at this stage, I was really struggling, and I was very on the edge of thinking, I'm going to just stop everything soon because I can't fight the wars.
Can I just ask, in terms of a timescale, how long after the injuries did this all come on?
So 2010, 2011 time. And
so
then
is that 3 or 4 years later, or am I making?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of had it up. That's probably about 3 or 4 years later. Yeah. And
so that is this an accumulation of just building up,
yeah, just building
point.
up, yeah.
And do you get any, like, coming out of? Well, not. I know you didn't come out of military, but like, is there people to talk to, or is it just not? Was it not just a done thing back then? Was it just kind of like get on with it because everyone else is going through stuff?
Yeah, I mean, there is now people to talk to, but back then they had all these casualties, but with no one. That was it. The charities hadn't been formed yet. Like the combat stress, the Blesmer was around, but no one really heard about mental health and PTSD. But yeah, get back to my original story. And I played at Tyrrell's Wood, and that night I was terrified to go to sleep. And I played around a golf and loved it, and couldn't believe I was playing on a golf course, and it was fantastic. And after that, I never had a flashback for about 4 or 5 months. Didn't have a bad dream. The thoughts had gone away, and I can't describe how brilliant it was. It upsets me thinking about how good it was, because that one round of golf with my mate and having a pint after and just sitting there and going, I enjoyed that. I played absolutely dreadful, but that was fantastic. The ball didn't go where I wanted to, but what a place, what a course. And yeah, and after that,
was that
it was
being
like
outside,
it was a lifesaver.
do you reckon it was just being outside and getting fresh air and
accumulation of things? Yeah, being outside, being with a mate, and just we didn't talk nothing about the army. We didn't talk anything about our injuries and how we lost our legs or nothing. We just two lads evening round of golf, few tins, twilight golf, and it was with a buggy, and it was brilliant. And I tell you that, and I look back at that round of golf, and I always tell Matt when I meet up with him and say, look, man, let's have a quick talk just to our round of golf, because that saved my life. It really did. And I would have never followed the career of golf if I had never played that round, because I'd probably be in a box or I'd be still in the army somewhere.
That's so powerful. That is so powerful. Like not that I want to brush over this at all. I think we always talk about how important golf is to people's mental health, and like even when we talk about COVID, and I know it doesn't compare to what you've been through. I think we all need to take a step back and realize how important golf is to anybody's mental health. And like you say, that moment of being on a golf course and being able to forget everything because you are 100% focused on your environment that you're currently in, trying to hit that bloody ball in that stupid little hole that we try and aim for at the end of the hole. And I don't know what it is about golf. There probably is some scientific kind of research on it somewhere that Em may know about, but the ability it has to make you feel just so good, even though you played the worst round of golf ever, is just unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable, and I am so happy. It makes me happy that you've actually found golf, because the last thing we would have wanted is for you to go the other way and avoid it all, because that to you, it must be one of the biggest life changes that ever happened, apart from obviously your children, marriage, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, apart from those little things.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I just think it's a life changer, and obviously you just said that.
Yeah, it's mad to think that, and I'm not just saying this to go out and play golf more, because if my wife does watch this and think, oh, he's just going to go out and play golf, it is a rehab for the guys. It's not just a social, it's not just a bunch of ex-squaddies or ex-servicemen getting out and playing around a golf. It's actually doing them a world of good. I can speak from self experience. A guy called Sam Auckland is another great lad. You should chat to.
I've spoken to him briefly, and I want to get him on at some point, but I wanted to get this one done first to kind of set it up for a few weeks' time. He's a gent.
He's an absolute real nice guy. Plays on course. There's another golf charity as well, and plays a lot with Battleback as well. So, and both charities do fantastic things. But yeah, he's got a great story, and he's changed his life as well. It really has. And it's mad to think how good it is for mental health, because you start walking and then guys go, oh, do you know what? I've not been feeling too good, lad. And that's it. And they just start chatting, and you see all of them at the end just be beaming from ear to ear. Okay, they play crap, and they go, how did you shoot? Oh, awful. Absolutely dreadful, but I'm enjoying this beer. And it's that. And it's sitting down, having a chat, putting all them feelings on the table, which you never thought from a bunch of servicemen going, oh, I feel it. But then it's golf brings it out, and it's great.
It's
that. Sorry, Ben, you go for it.
I was just really briefly, go on, Em. You go first, I'll go after. Go on.
I've had it before in lessons that people have broken down with happiness, not that I've torn them to shreds, that they've literally they've literally cried, and that they've just like found something. But I think it's yours. I can't explain it there was one person that just literally just changed their life because they had a couple of kids, they had family, and they thought that was their life, was their family, but they didn't have anything for themselves. And I think that's the thing. It's yours for 4 or 5 hours. It's your I know this sounds really weird, but they talk about like you're part of the world. You're in it there and then. You're nowhere but there. And I think that's why you see this wonderful aura of anyone that's a member of a golf club or anyone that plays golf, because there is just this pure love, this weird being outside, being with lovely people, hitting a golf ball. It's just this. I know what you mean, and there is no words to explain it, but it's just so wonderful for everyone.
It's absolutely. I've got 2 points that I want to make about this point, and I've never felt anything like it in terms of escaping all the stresses of work and stuff. And I haven't been through half the stuff that you guys have been through. And it's the only other place I've ever felt it is when I've been playing rugby, because you have no opportunity to think about what's going on in your normal life. It's a weird place, and you get to this position where it is so therapeutic to be out enjoying the sport that you take part in. It's unbelievable. And the other point I wanted to really briefly make is, obviously for my job, we work with children and young people on a one-to-one basis, and we always talk about activities that we can take part in that are the best way of putting it is encouraging an environment where we do not have to think about the norm for that young person, but it's deeper than that. So we're out walking. Walking is a really perfect example. We walk, or we're driving in a car, or we're doing an activity where we're both in it together at the same time. So that's really, really important, that you're both doing the same thing. So everybody that's in your group, we're all going through this together. It's this little journey. So we're straight away, we're connected in some way, shape or form. But then the really other important things is well, especially with the young people and adults and men in particular, because we're terrible men. Men are bloody terrible at talking to each other and doing our thing. We're rubbish. Like even me, and I claim to be like, oh, this is my job. I can do what I want, but we're rubbish. We're crap at it. But the fact that we're, instead of being face to face with somebody, like when you have to go into those sessions where you sat across a room at the desk or a couch, you're face to face. That's a massive off-put. So you're walking side by side. You're going on this journey together where you're not having to make the eye contact that you're not having to do all those things. And one of our most successful sessions, and Emma will tell you this in terms of young people that we work with together at the Kendershire, is the stories, the conversations, the life-changing conversations happen when we're driving in a car. And the reason is because you're not making that eye contact so much. And that's the same with golf. You're walking towards something, you're not face-to-face all the time. And it's, I don't know what, like golf, for example, just creates this perfect environment of therapy. There's no other way of putting it. Like, if you talk to anybody that knows golf and knows therapy, they're like, yeah, let's go and play some golf. And people are like, oh, just having a bit of a jolly around a golf course. It's not a jolly. It's more important than that. And you will know that, Scott, from talking to all the back golf guys, and I bet they all think the same. It's just an opportunity where it just takes a few more of those barriers down that you don't have to think about. Like it's so important. I don't want to gabble on about it because I know how impactful it is. But you talked about briefly your first round of golf and how important that was for you. Was that Battle Back Golf that introduced you to that, or was that something that you just did off the cuff and went for it?
That was Battle Back Golf, because they had an agreement with Seals Wood where they'd send some injured servicemen up, and you could play a free round of golf, just go and play. And that was Battle Back Golf that did that. And but yeah, and I thought after that round of golf, well, I'm going to get down going to be as good as I can, because at the end of the day I want to be a PGA pro. And I went down a different route, which I probably shouldn't have gone down, because at the time the PGA weren't accepting like to say, well, they weren't accepting disabled people, but like you had to have a certain handicap, and it was like, I think it was below 4, and I was just up on the cuff of it, and I thought, well, I'm not going to try and do this. I ain't got the money to do it. I'll go down the EDGF route, which is the European Golfers Teaching Federation, and when I did that, Emma's smiling. And when I did that, because
is that frowned upon? Is that frowned upon?
It's a bit like.
Yeah.
No,
so
it's fine.
I did that and thought, I'm going to try and get as good as I can, and I got down to like 2.8, and basically 3. But then I had an abrasion on my arm. I did my Atlantic row, and halfway through the row, I landed awkwardly after a wave hit me, and I smashed my arm. I didn't realise at the time, but because you're in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, I'd fractured it in 3 places, and then
could you still row?
Yeah,
I don't know if that's how you row.
I just still row. Just made my arm ache. I was like, I just carried on going, and then played a bit of round of golf, and I was like, my arm's killing after a round of golf. My elbow's absolutely really sore, and my wife said, "Well, you need to go to the hospital, because I've never seen you take many painkillers as you're taking now." So I went into the hospital, and he goes, "When did you fractured your arm, but not just in one, like in 3 places? How did you do it?" It's been. I said, "Oh, I did it probably about 5 months ago. Did it in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean."
Oh, just rowing.
So yeah, I had an operation on my arm and missing probably 2 years of golf, because they took out the pin that was there and didn't really play again. But that was the lowest I got, was down to 3, and I loved it. But I was playing religiously. I was Monday to, well, I'd have a Wednesday off, and I'd have, believe it or not, Sunday Sunday golf off, because Sunday was family day. I'd go range in the morning, on an average day, range in the morning, hit about 60 balls, go and play 9 holes, have a bit of lunch, going at the rest, going at some 60, hit a few more balls, but all short range, chip in, 50 yards in, all work on that, and then put, and I'd go and play another 9 holes, and then I'd put for an hour before bed. And that was it. And I loved it. Absolutely, I was living, breathing it. I was like, every day, I was absolutely raring to go. And that's how I got down to such a good handicap, and I was playing that handicap every round of golf as well. It was
did you
really enjoyable.
Did you have like balance issues? Did your coach have to work on things that were just like tailored to you for like certain things? Because obviously there are things that I don't like in terms of weight shift. Is that possible? Or I've seen you pose. You know your pose, but I don't know if that's
there's a few swings on Instagram. You can have a look at them if after this if you want. But I didn't right at the start, and after that I thought, do you know what? It's my own swing, and no offense to any coaches out there, but I want to tailor-make it to myself. But with my leg, my right leg's missing, so I'm at a very not stacking tilt, but I've got reasonable balance. I could swing it through right. The only thing I have is because I can't straighten my right arm because of the way the pin is in it. I turn the club over dead easy. So a real bad snap hook is my bad shot, and I just hit baby draws into everything.
All right,
just little feathered.
I don't really want to.
Yeah, I didn't want me to say that, but that's that's my natural shot.
No,
your grip. So my grip's fine. I very struggle. I struggle to pronate and whatever that is. So supinate and pronate. Yeah. So I can't. So hitting a fade is hard for me because I struggle to get that hand back like that. That's as far as it goes.
Yeah.
Because
I'm guessing that.
Yeah, because of the pins and plates in my arm.
Yeah.
Even though I can do it with a setup, and I can do it with the way I move my leg and stuff. But yeah, I just let it sit as it goes and let the swing ride itself and hit the ball as hard as I can every single shot. As consistently as hard as I can.
I love that. Absolutely love that. But like, have you and Ben are like peas in a pod. Have you got a part of your game that you're just like, I can take anyone on with it?
I used to put really well, but I'll struggle loads now. But if it's anything, it's got to be rather my driving or my mid irons. I say mid irons, but anything from driver to 7-iron, I love crushing them. I really do. And I mean, I'm not a big hitter. I can get it out there, but I'm not 300 yards, even though I have it over 300 yards. I'm not a 300-yard hitter, but I know my numbers very well. And that's why I use ping. And they've always, I get my 5-iron out, for instance. I know that's going 195 on the nose every time I hit it, unless I really want to put my fat gut into it, and then I can hit it harder. But
power band into it.
Put the barrel into it. Yeah. But I know that club's going that distance every time I get it out of the bag, and it's. But yeah, love doing it. Yeah, and so I don't do much to my grip.
Are you going to do? Like, are you looking at any competitions this year or competitions next year? I know this year's going to be a bit weird with what's going on anyway, but is there anything that you can go and play or join in on?
So hopefully that'll get up and running again, and we get a few comps on with members at other golf clubs, and we're going to have a match, and we do an all match play, and it's just basically say 12 guys against your 12 guys. Excuse me, and go and have a game of golf, and then hopefully later on this year, if we can, it'd be the Captain Pete's Trophy or the Clive Pierce Cup. I think it might be the Clive Pierce Cup. Against Australians, and it'd be Ryder Cup style, few days, and we've played it every year. Obviously missed last year, but I took part in Gleneagles in 2018. Not Gleneagles, sorry. Celtic Manor. Took part in Celtic Manor 2018 and loved it. And obviously, you know, I've told the story about playing on one leg.
His leg broke.
Yeah, it was. My leg broke. Yeah, my prosthetic leg broke.
Do you just whip another one out of a bag? How does that work?
Oh, yeah, whip another one out. Yeah, I'll just bring another leg with me.
Hang on a minute, let me get one out of my bag. How does that? What do you do for that? Like a snap 7-iron or?
I couldn't. I mean, I just had to stand and play on it. It was broken. It was vibrating constantly because it's battery powered. Excuse me. And
sorry, what? Your leg's battery powered?
Yeah. So I got So it's back to, so I've got so I've got a Genium X3, which basically moves for me, walks the gate for me, which is all mad scientific stuff made in Germany, German engineering. Who does better German engineering? It's got to be good. And it's so I've got that, but I don't know too much about that. I got to wear it and just walk.
Do you make the Terminator noise? Does it like go? That's what I want to know.
I just employ you to that next to me every time I walk.
I'm like, oh my god, here he comes.
I wish it did.
I would ask for, can you make the noise? Because that would be amazing. Or Transformers. You know when the Transformers go like what? That's what I'd want it to do.
What? We're not scousers,
with the arm movement.
What?
That's the noise. When you listen to Transformers, you'll be like, I know the noise that Emma was talking about. Yeah.
I will watch that next. But yeah. I just did that in 2018. So hopefully, I missed 2019 because it was already in Australia and it was my daughter's birthday. So I stayed in the UK for it. But hopefully this year, 2021, at the end of this year, November time, it'll be put back on and. We could take on the Australians again in the Ryder Cup style format, which I mean it's fantastic, and that itself is fantastic because you meet the guys, the soldier on guys from Australia, and they're brilliant. They're all brilliant. They've all been in Afghanistan. They've all seen the same conflict. We've all stood in that blood and that mud, and we just get on with it. And it's and that's a great few days away, and a few good stories, and a lot of beer going down, and shots and everything else.
Did you know any of them pre-injury?
Probably spoke on the internet a few times, but nothing. Didn't know hardly any of them, and then met them all through golf. And because pretty much each country now, like America, and Australia, Canada, is going the same way. They've all got like golf projects for the injured servicemen.
Have you spoken to Ash Harris at all? Enable Golf.
Yeah, I've spoken to Ash.
So, can you get involved with any of that, or?
I'd love to, and I'd love to get involved with their guitar, but I don't see myself competing in one way. I'd love to, and I like to think I can, but it sounds really bad because if I was a lot younger and if I was single, I would go and do it. 110%. I'd go and give it a go and be one of the best disabled golfers in the world if I could be. Maybe if when the girls grow up a little bit, I'd dabble, but I'd like to just help more people, and that's the whole idea with the Instagram page. And I took over the Instagram page in May for Battleback to just give the lads some entertainment because there's all struggling with no golf, and a lot of people going, "What do I do?" And I thought, well, I wonder if I can just post stuff and a few pictures, and what if I can just chat to people who just love the game, who are passionate about the game, and listen to them and give the lads something to listen to because. A lot of the guys, I know a lot of the guys in the WhatsApp group what I'm on, say I listen to the interviews in the chats in the car just as an iPad. I just connect to the speakers, listen to it through Instagram, and it's just great. And that was the whole idea behind it. Just thinking, give lads some entertainment, get the Battleback project out there, and get guys aware about it, and what good they do. And it's snowballed. I'm glad I did it.
So Scott, are you doing this? Do you do this full time now? Do you work for Battleback, or it's like what would your now you're out of military? What do you do?
So I work at a fitness chain. I won't mention who they are, but I work for them, and I've been furloughed since March last year because I had an operation on my leg because I had some shrapnel removed because I'm full of shrapnel still, and I had a bit of a bad growy lump on the back of my leg, and I couldn't wear my prosthetic. So I went to the hospital, and they found out it was like 2 thumbnail size bits of shrapnel. So I had them dug out, and then I couldn't go back to work because the gyms are all closed, and so I've been on furlough ever since. So I don't work for Battleback now. I just thought in my spare time, why not?
Yeah. So you go back? Sorry, you go for it.
Go on, Emma.
Yeah.
I was going to say, so do you go back on the 16th of April, or is that when gyms, you just don't know?
I have no idea.
You'll get a couple of weeks of golfing, at least, I reckon.
Oh, yeah.
At least
hopefully.
Scramble a few weeks in.
Yeah,
well,
a few
what
weeks
I wanted
to
ask, if you because we haven't really explained what Battleback Golf actually is yet. We've talked about it, we've mentioned it. So, in a nutshell, in not one sentence, a couple of paragraphs maybe, explain to us all what Battleback Golf is, because it's on Instagram. I know it. I didn't know anything about it until
I didn't.
I stumbled across it, and then I had a conversation with you, obviously. But if everybody doesn't know what it is, let us know.
Yeah.
So the Battleback Golf Project was founded in Henley Court by Lieutenant Colonel Tristan Crew back in the end of 2008, 2009 time. And it was just to get guys back out there and integrated in some sort of sport. So Battleback is not just golf. So Battleback Golf is part of Battleback. So there's ski Battleback, there's like football, there's loads of different stuff.
Okay.
Didn't know that. Okay. I just thought it was golf.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
So Battleback Golf Project, and then there's golf is the biggest one. Golf is their baby basically. And so the Battleback Golf Project basically was thought, what? Let's get lads walking on the terrain where it's up and down, getting in that sand, walking on flat turfs. So you can say all that is one golf fairway. You think of the undulations of the fairway, the flat surface, the putting green, depending where you're playing, obviously, and in and out of bunkers. And they thought, well, we'll just take a few clubs, see if lads like it. And the lads just fell off it because it was so good, not just for them missing limbs and walking up and down terrain and moving out of bunkers and picking their ball up for a tee, so reaching down. It was good for their coordination if they lost sight, because I lost sight of my right eye. If you lost sight, you can focus, and all these things just happened to play together fantastically with golf. And it was just, God, we've done something great here. And then later down the line, with the mental health side of things, where lads with PTSD were coming on, because obviously not all injuries can be seen, okay? And the worst injury I can say is the PTSD. And lads suffer for years and years and years. Even guys from the Falklands War have suffered in years and years, and they've come to play golf, and they've gone, that is fantastic. How is that? I've been doing this. I've been fighting these battles and these wars for years, and I've come and played one round of golf for you guys, and I feel a million times better. And that's what. And in a nutshell, going from 2008, 2009 time to present day, it's helping hundreds of servicemen every year.
And how is it promoted? Like, is it like any military personnel? Any military person, is it if they're injured or if they are taken out of military, did Battleback get in touch with them, or are they given Battleback's details? Or
so we've got a website. So if you've been medically discharged from the service, or if you're sick, injured, or wounded whilst on duty or on tours, then Battleback Golf are happy to have you. And you can just go online or basically go to the website, contact him. Don't obviously not contact myself. I obviously don't work for Battleback, but we have guys who
everyone get hold of Scott.
Yeah, we have guys.
Get in touch with me. I've got his number. I'll let you know.
That's it. Yeah, and contact them, and they give you a message back.
And like, if anyone was to listen to this and go, "I want to help," like, do you need golf clubs? Do you need equipment? Do you need golf facilities? Do you need golf pros? Like, what? If there's anyone that could, because obviously COVID has like mentally got people, and I think people want to do better, and I think people want to help. And your story is just like, whoa! Like, if someone wants to say, actually, I want to help, what's the best way that they can help?
So they can help. I mean, they can contact Battleback. The email address is on the website. So www.battlebackgolf.com is just the website, nice, easy, and simple. And all the information's there, how we got formed, and you can contact us through that. With help, believe it or not. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I probably will say it anyway. Ping sponsor Battleback.
Oh, I love it.
So the Sohan family are fantastic, and they basically sponsor Battleback. And if you've played with Battleback for a few years and you've shown your passion for the Battleback Golf scheme and the Battleback Golf Project, you'll go to Gainsborough and you'll get measured up and fitted for a pair of clubs.
Shut up.
that alone is incredible. I love that. Fair play to Ping. Shout out to Ping and what they do.
And they've helped with so many guys, and just that alone, just going to and being treated like a pro for a day, and going down there, and so it doesn't matter if you're swinging rubbish. The guy behind the camera will just go, "Good swing, mate." Yeah, well, it's good swing, mate. And it will just go, "Yeah, stick him up right," and whatever they do, and they're fantastic people down there. I had an absolute blast. I was there from the morning till the evening, just eating balls. They had to chuck me out because I was just enjoying it so much.
Let's not get out.
Yeah, and fair play to Ping and everybody setting it up. I mean, I've got Zeno Gomez probably won't ever see this because he's not on Instagram, he's not on Facebook and stuff. But that guy, he's got more guys into golf than anybody else I know, and he's the guy who's saved more lives than anybody. He's a true life hero. He was in the RAF, a guy called Zeno Gomez, and he basically worked in the workshop at Headley Court, helping guys with their hands and getting guys standing up and doing all that. And he'd just go, "Do you play golf?" And I go, "Oh yeah," and that's how Battleback had so many guys. You ask everybody, you look at the bios on the Instagram page, everybody mentions Zeno Gomez. He is a living legend hero, and not all heroes wear caps, or not heroes wear capes or helmets or whatever. He's an absolute bloke, and I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be playing golf if it wasn't for him. I wouldn't, because I wouldn't never played it to us wood. I would never gone to the range to see Phil. I wouldn't do none of that if it weren't for him. So,
and let's be honest, if it wasn't for that, you might not have been here. Full stop. Especially how you explained that earlier on. That was So I'm glad you're in. I'm glad that Zeno Gomez has helped you out and sorted you out.
Oh, not just me, hundreds of blokes. Absolutely, what a man! And hopefully, I can give something back to him one day and shake his hand and buy my beer again soon, because it's absolutely I love him to pieces. And hopefully, I'll send him this obviously after it comes out to see if he'll listen to it.
Yeah.
Has he ever been recognised from like his work? I mean, people like that are the ones that should get an award.
Yeah, I mean, he should get an award, and hopefully he does. And I don't think he wants one. He just helps. That's the spirit. He's just such a bloke, really, really nice man, and hopefully you get to meet him. We'll get him down to the Kendalshire, and
I think we need to find his address, and we need to just write him loads of letters. Like, oh God, what's up here?
I'm sure he'll love that.
Oh, he sounds like a real hero. To be fair, like even just talking to you, if someone listened to this, I think today's conversation so far has like been the most inspirational conversation I've ever listened to ever. I just think the way you talk about it is just like, it's done. There's other people struggling with stuff. I want to help people. I know it's obviously been a longer conversation than that, but that's what I've got from this so far, is that you've gone through horrendous, but you've kind of gone, yeah, let's deal with it, and then let's go on to the next thing.
Yeah, and I just want to. I mean, you look at, I say the difference, but I just want to help as many guys as I can. It's just, I'm so passionate about the sport, and any sport, not just golf, any sport would do the world of good. You can like walk into sport. I mean, you walk fast, you can get into the Olympics. And that's, if you just want to go outside and just walk and chat and chew the fat and have a good laugh or have a cry. I've cried, and I've cried myself to sleep many nights in the past, wondering hopefully what will tomorrow bring. And tomorrow just brings a smile and just getting on with life and just cracking on and just being there for somebody. If someone rings you, I pick up the phone and say hello, and that's what I'm trying to achieve. I'm just want to get the word out for the blokes and do the best I can, get us all playing golf again.
Yeah.
So if there's any golf clubs listening, like obviously holding a Battleback golf event at their golf facility would be quite a cool thing for you, wouldn't it? That would be like if we could get you boys down at ours, or if someone wanted to offer their facility.
We're going to get at our place.
There is a few places we go to, so there's a lot of places we go to, and when our schedule comes out, it's very busy because we've got goals all over the country. But if clubs do want us, just email us in through the website saying, look, we'd love to host Battleback for a day, or do whatever. Just email us in, and then hopefully someone will get back to you. But because at the minute with COVID, I don't know if anyone's even in the offices or everyone's getting an emails. It's run through the RCMA and Headley Court, which is now at Stamford Hall. So I don't know if anyone's there, or I don't know, but we will get back in touch once we get this pandemic out of the way, and we all start playing the game we love again, and getting people back out, because hopefully, what I don't want to happen is obviously the pandemic, everyone's been locked inside and people are struggling, and people are just chewing at the bit, biting at the bit to get back out and play. And there's going to be, well, I say that, but you probably may want to edit this bit out, but I don't want there to be too many mental health cases when we come out of this pandemic and guys struggling. And I mean, that's what panics me the most.
Yeah. I think there is no lie about it. I struggle with it, and Ben tells me off because it's not a, what did I call it? A mental health.
Oh, she moans about issues, and like the way she talks about it, like in terms of she's so down about it, and I know it's like that, but I tell her off because the main point I tell you off then is the fact that we all like to make out that it's only a certain amount of people that deal with mental health problems, and actually it's not. We all do. We all have mental health battery life, if you like, and we're all going to get low at some point, and we're all going to have to struggle with it. But it's not just an individual thing. It's not just, us three are going to deal with it because that's just us three. That's unfortunately us. Everybody has to manage it. Everybody at every opportunity. And if they tell you they don't, they're lying, right? They're absolutely lying. And I think that's why I get wound up about it, because the stigma's going. It's not gone fully yet. It's going. It's getting better. But everybody struggles with it. And I think as soon as we all realise that actually it's okay for us all to say, at the moment I'm not great at the minute. I'm going to be honest. I'm not really great about it. This is happening. This is how I feel. And having that conversation with somebody is so, so important. I've talked to you in the past, Em, about how, people talk about, a problem shared is a problem halved. It is literally one of the best pieces of advice you'll ever hear, because as soon as you start talking to somebody, that little bit of weight that you're carrying becomes a little bit lighter, and you have that conversation, and you're able to just unload a little bit, and then you speak to somebody else and you unload a little bit more. And what I will say to everyone as well, talk to everybody that wants them. Don't bang on about it all the time, because people obviously will shut off. But what I'm trying to say is that you'll pick up bits of information from people that aren't therapists, aren't psychologists, aren't doctors, nurses, but from your friends and your loved ones. And it will be one little thing that you can hold on to that is so positive that will change your day and change your life. And it's just having those little conversations with everybody and just being open and honest. But like I said to you earlier, Scott, blokes are bloody terrible at that. And women are the same as well. Women, they like to make out they're good at having a conversation, but unfortunately, they like to hold on to it as well. But that's another.
Right, Ben. Remember that one.
I think that it is extremely tough times that we're going through. And it is now, they do say it's 1 in 3 will suffer mental health issues through whatever. And it just proves the fact that 3 of us there. And MFF, we don't mind me asking, it sounds like we've been struggling a little bit. But the way I kind of cope with it, and it is that you're saying you speak to guys, you can literally speak to anybody. And I kind of find myself, if I am struggling, there is no one around. And it's a great tip I learned at Headley Court, and it cools me down. It takes my mind off everything. And I kind of think of a traffic light system. And I close my eyes, I take a few deep breaths, and I just think about, right, I want to get off the red, and I need to get to green. So I slowly count back. I keep counting my head nice and slow until I think, right, okay, right, I'm at amber, okay, here we go, right, a few more breaths, and I think of that nice flashing green amber lights is eventually going to blink, and then as soon as it does, right, I go, right, no more thoughts. And I look up and I crack on going, and if I'm on my own, that is a great way of just forgetting everything for a second. You could be in the supermarket Asda and go, right, I'm going to stand over near the veg, I'm just going to put my head down in my hands, and I'm just going to do this. Right? Okay, yeah. If you get a carrot or whatever you want to do. If you look at Wally, who cares?
Yeah.
No one cares, right? Mm-hmm. Even somebody might come up to you and go, "Excuse me, you're all right."
Yeah, absolutely. I was just about to say that. Like, if I saw that, I'd be straight over, "You right, mate?" What's going on?
Yeah.
I'll be straight in there, but that's me.
But you never know. Or you sit in the car park, or you're sitting at home in front of the TV, having that just little break, that little 30-second break, it do you all the good, and it get them thoughts snapping back out of your head. but literally, in chatting and just tuna fat and talking is one of the best things you can do. You're very right, Ben, by saying that. And just getting the things off your chest, getting that weight off you, and saying, "Look, do you want me to start saying you something?" And I'm struggling. And they go, "What struggling? What?" And you just go, "I don't know. I just feel weight. I just feel like I'm sinking. I feel like someone's pulling me down."
Yeah.
And you're going, and it could be the COVID and what's going on, and just being stuck inside and just seeing the constant death rate going up and down. It's just,
it's horrific.
Go on, Ben. Sorry.
I was going to say, I've got one question for you, like, really quickly, because this is a point I'm trying to make now. Of all those times you've had to have those conversations with people and say, "Look, I just need a minute. I'm not doing this." How many times has that person you're speaking to turned around and said, "Sorry, I can't help you"?
None.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is my point. That's the point. No, if you're speaking to somebody, right, 9 times out of 10, it's somebody you care about, they care about you, and they want to be there with you having that conversation. And as soon as you say that, we all have this within us, because it's like human nature. I don't know whether it's the parent or I don't know what part of the brain it is, but something's going on where you're like, shit, I don't want to see my mate going through this, or my loved one going through this, and my son, we want to help. So we're going to sit there and listen. And we might not have a clue what's going on. However, we will try our best to make sure we're going to put our arm around you and give you a little squeeze if you need it. It's one of those, isn't it? And you're so right. Talking is so important, but it's almost like our own anxiety, our own fears, our own stresses are putting up that wall to even stop us making that first jump to say, actually, I just want to have a conversation with somebody about it. And it's not that it's stupid, that's the wrong way of putting it, but it to people that are in a good place, it seems really, really small, like a small barrier to get over. That's the best way of putting it. An easy barrier, but it's when you're struggling, when you've got so many other things going on in your mind, and the stresses are all there, all the things that you're thinking about, that wall suddenly turns from this small to the biggest wall, 8, 9, 10 feet tall, that you can't get over. And if you can somehow bridge that or get through that wall, honestly, it's life-changing. And
but do you think that's why golf plays such a big part? Because yes, I know people get stressed on a golf course, but the anxiety, like, you can tell when someone's having a bad round, but I think that's just rage that kicks in. You don't ever see that pure stress, anxiety kind of. You don't see that often on a golf course, I wouldn't have said.
We talk about, we call it a sledgehammer, and I know that sounds really silly. We talk about a sledgehammer, and it means basically, what are we going to knock this bloody wall down with to get us through that thing? And these activities and like practices that you do with the traffic light system, the counting to tens, and listening to the music and doing all the other things that they can. These are their sledgehammers that are going to get us through that wall to be able to get to the next thing. And golf falls into that category. Walking, swimming, all these physical activities are so good for you. Like, even now we talk about COVID at this point in time, the only thing we're allowed to do is go out and exercise and go out and walk. And I have personally never felt so good going out for a walk with my family. It's something that we didn't really do apart from once a week, whereas we're doing it every bloody day at the moment, and it's brilliant. All of us we've actually started geocaching. You heard of that? It's like the geekiest thing ever. Do you know what a geocache is, Scott?
No, never heard that before.
Right.
What's that?
It is incredible. This is where I geek out now. So I shouldn't have brought this up. Everyone's going to kill me.
Just thought I'd say, walking is not my forte. If you've ever realised, you've really bringing the leg things into this.
It's like, oh, sorry, Ben.
Even though I do carry and walk when I'm on the course. I carry and walk as everybody else. But yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Well,
do you ever lucky trolley? Has anyone ever
I've got electric trolley, but I don't really like having it because I like to have the clubs and
all the gear and right into it.
But, sorry, Ben. Tell me what this thing is. Whether
this thing, geocaching. Loads of people don't know what it is. It's basically an app. It's an app, right? And it's basically treasure hunting for adults, and people hide little trinkets and things in railings and under trees and all sorts. So we've started doing it with the kids, and there's loads around here. Em only lives around the corner from me, so I'm saying that. And you can.
I found him in my garden earlier. He's like, "What's this trinket of beer?" No, Ben, I'm not a geocacher.
Cash.
Catching.
It's, and basically, you've got this hint. You get like you get a coordinate on a map, and you have to go and try and find it. And then you get there, and and some of them are really complex. You have to figure out what the coordinates to the next part is, and you move on. It's all this treasure hunting, but the kids absolutely love it. So the first one we found, by complete chance, is just the other side of the bridge by Sal's, and inside this little pot is hidden at the bottom of the tramway, and it's just like, and you open it up, and there's this little Lego man inside, and the kids thought it was amazing. So we've done all that, take photos,
Did they
and
put it
back. Yeah, you have to put it all back. You write down you write a little log about where you've been, and you've been here. You write your little username from the app, and you roll it all back up nice and tightly and hide it, and then you go off and find another one. That's what we've been doing, and that's been helping our mental health. So if anybody wants to come geocaching with us, you crack on.
I might do that. Might come tomorrow.
But anyway,
so
back
Scott's
to my point.
I wish I'd never asked. Like, oh my god, what time is it?
Yeah, geocache.
Back to my point. Please just talk to somebody, have that conversation, and if you're worried about doing it, just go and do something with people. I know it's hard at the moment that we can't, but just go and do something with somebody, and if the conversation comes up, it will help. It will definitely help.
I'll tell you what else helps as well. If you, I kind of do this on a whim, because whenever I feel like it, I do it. And I always think to myself, when the opportunity to change someone else's life is great. Okay, so every now and then I'll go and buy 3 lottery tickets and just give them out. Yeah, and that sounds quite weird, and it's £2. But then whenever you have a chance to go, this may change your life. Yeah. And you'll always remember me giving you this, and then that'll make me okay. Yeah, you can win all the millions. I'm happy because I've got my kids, my golf, my wife, and that's my little fantastic world, my boys and everything, playing around the golf. I didn't need anything else, but that ticket can change someone else's life. You could win, you could lose. There's millions of chances that you may not, but even if you're having a down day, just going to spend £4 and just go, here's a lottery ticket. Or just give it to the woman behind the kiosk. I know you work at Sainsbury's, but this could change your life. Have a good day.
Absolutely.
But don't you think like things like that are just wonderful, because it brings back like human care? I think that's what was missing for a bit, is just the care and love from people. And I think things like that £2, yes, it's £2, but it's just wonderful. If someone did anything like that, is just, I think it's love. I think it's
or in the back of, like, I've done this before when I've got the kids in the back. If I see like a family in the back behind me in the McDonald's, I go, can I pay for the guys behind me? Pay for the guys behind me, because they're never going to get out of the car. And you just drive. That's made their day. Then someone's paid for the. But they might be struggling.
Coach load just arrived.
Yeah.
I bet Scott would never do that to me, because if I was behind, I'd order absolutely everything. I'll have one of everything.
But they don't know you. They don't know you've paid for it until they obviously get up to the window. You could be off by then, but you don't know if they're struggling or what's going on. If that maybe their only meal a day, and you just go, look, what can be a £5 or a tenner every now and then. And I always do that. If I'm having a bad day, making someone else kind of feel good, or bringing someone else, it gives you that sense of like, I've done that day. I've done that good thing there. But yeah, there you go. It
does make you feel good though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does make you do something.
Doing good make you feel good.
Yeah, 100%.
There's little boosts and there's little. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Scott. I think
like Emma and a golf coaching, when you've helped so many people, and you say people are broken down in your lessons, you must stand there going, what is he going on here? Is he like, you're right there, mate? You're meant to be a big army boy or all this. Right. Yeah. Well, Ben, get a big player crying in my lesson,
come on,
and all
Ben.
that. Yeah,
come on.
Yeah. But you've stood there, and when guys come and see you, which no doubt some battle back guys will, you'll have an opportunity to change their life for the best, and just give them a few tips and a few hints of what's going on with their swing. That'll make their day, and it works in opposite ways. And yeah.
Well, look, if you put these things out to Battleback, Scott, if anybody is in the Bristol area in terms of Kendallshire way or whatever, tell them to get in contact with us, and I will play golf with them. I've got no coaching golf knowledge in the slightest, but I'll talk and have a conversation and be there, and you can just take the mickey out of me all day. Whereas I'm sure Emma would do
lessons. I'm totally up for that.
Free lessons. There we go.
Would love it. And I think
love
charity. I think it's wonderful. I think you're just doing a kick-ass job. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, you can like to say kick-ass, yeah. I don't know, ask Ben. But I was going to say, you love the fact that you're going to have loads of spoilers to come down, or love the fact you're teaching lessons.
We're like, fine. I'm used to squaddies being from Warminster. Bloody millions there. And then Tidworth, I'm like, geez, and Uphaven. But no, I think, I honestly, whatever we can do to help. And I think golf pros realise now how much golf does help and that they can play a big part in it. And to be fair, all the golf pros I know do charity lessons, do things like that. And I just think whatever we can do, you sometimes just have to ask for it. And I think people will give. I mean, ping, that's like still heroic.
That's incredible. That is incredible. I asked you, when we talked about it last time, Scott, I asked if you got one of those nice ping camo bags, didn't I? Because I've always wanted one. And you did. I don't know if you've got one yet. Have you got one?
No, I haven't got one.
I'd be all over it. I'd be all over it if we get hold of one. Without, not that I'm worried about time, because I am worried.
Midnight, is it? I really don't know what time it is.
I want to talk a bit really quickly about golf that's happening now and things that happened. We were recording last week, and old Tiger had an accident when we were having that conversation. And I just wanted to make a really quick point about not a point, just bring it up in conversation, really. The fact that obviously he's going to have a bit of a tough time coming back. Tiger's a bit of a hero of both of us in the end, I suppose.
Love him.
We grew up in a Tiger reign, and we talked about this briefly on Instagram, didn't we, Scott? The old Tiger chat. And I loved the fact that so many of the guys got involved with wearing the red.
Women. There was women on the Sunday as well, and I just thought it was brilliant. Absolutely.
I love all that. I wore a red t-shirt that day. Sat at home in my pants in a red t-shirt. That was a sight for sore eyes.
Absolute legend, and I feel for him. I really do. I don't know what's going to go on now. That's it. I don't know. I'm scared to think. Will he be hanging up his cleats, as they say? I don't know.
You never know with Tiger, though, do you?
You never know. He's got such a strong mind. It is, and that is probably being bring up around the military as a young lad, and the way he did the stuff with the Navy SEALs in his past. If no one knows that, go and check it out. It's all on YouTube. It's mad, some of the stuff he was doing. Proper buds training and all that, and you never know. You literally never know. And I mean, what is the extent of his injuries? Is it 2 broken legs? Have plates and putting his ankles in? He?
Just one, isn't it? Or is it both?
Is it just one?
I don't know. It's probably worth looking up.
Good.
I'll have a little look now quickly.
I tell you what, if you get the chance, there's an audio book by Haney, and as much as I'm not really a fan
I've heard of that. Yeah, I've listened to that.
That's what I've listened to. So podcasts, because I've literally completed Netflix, I think in a year. I like audiobooks and podcasts, but that was amazing to hear the inside out of his life. And just like you said, the military side, I didn't realise how obsessed he got with the fitness levels of that.
Massively.
And then I think he lost too much weight, and then he was just still bulking up too much. And it was incredible to hear the story. And I guess you don't see that because he's so private, apart from everything that went on with whatever. Yeah. You wouldn't hear anything about what was going on with him. No. It was really mental.
Yeah.
So Tiger's injuries. Open tibia and fibula fractures it doesn't say which leg actually. They were not clean breaks, so it was bones and numerous fragments basically, and also injuries to the ankle and foot area, which are still kind of unclear, but they've plated them anyway. So he's actually had quite a little bit of work and soft tissue damages around the tibia. So any kind of open fracture is pretty horrific and pretty hard to come back from. So
which are the bones? Like, is there
tibia and fibia? Bottom half of your leg.
Bottom half of your leg. So
below knee.
Yeah, below knee.
Yeah.
So above your knee.
The two ones. Yeah.
Humerus, is that?
Thigh.
No,
femur. Yeah.
Where's that? Yeah, thigh. Yeah.
Are you proper do you know every part of your body now that you've been into hospital for so many years?
Yeah, I do.
I know what that is. That is that. That's a leg. No, that's a wrist bone.
Yeah.
So, I think Tiger. I want him back so bad just because a lot of us wouldn't be playing golf without him, would we? Let's be honest. We know that he's changed the game. Hey, that was a conversation that came up the other day. Do you think Tiger is influenced all the players are on tour now? And I was like, that's a bit of a stupid question. Of course he has, because
yeah.
Because they're all hitting the ball bloody miles.
But did you see Twitter though? Not that I like Twitter that much because it's so angry, but there was an article, and sometimes they pull like quotes off Twitter of who's written what, and it was pretty much every sports person in the world, and even like celebrities like Will Smith had come out, and I think he had just been to see Will Smith and his wife or something that day. I mean, it was bizarre, and it was like, we wish Tiger was like all the safe love in the world, and it was, I think any person in this world, unless they live in a very remote place, knows who Tiger Woods is. It's like, who knows?
Everyone knows
Michael Jordan, who knows Serena Williams. There's probably only a list of maybe 10 men and women, like sporting people that you probably know. Roger Federer. It is David.
Yeah.
David Beckham. Do you know what I mean? But
from that one sport, from that one sport, you're very right, Matt. From all them sports, you can name one person. So like, you even like horse racing. Frank Dettori, don't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Everybody knows. I don't even know horse racing really, but I know who he is. He's a crazy dude who jumps off a horse. Right?
Yeah, we both know that.
Yeah. Everybody knows who Will Carlin is. All right. Yeah. Everybody recognises these major goats who have been in and changed their sport for the best and got people into that.
I would one up you with the old Will Carlin chat. I reckon Johnny Wilkinson would be
Johnny Wilkinson, everyone. Yeah. That's because all the ladies fancied him, but it was Johnny Wilkinson. But you could say
I fancied him. He was good looking. He's still good looking.
He's still pretty, Yeah, it's weird though, isn't it? But like, if in 20 years' time, who have these kids got to look up to if there is no Tiger Woods? I know it would just be hearsay, and YouTube would be brilliant of that.
Well,
but like, where would it go? Like,
Ricky Fowler's up there at the moment, isn't he? That the kids love Ricky Fowler.
But Ricky Fowler,
he's still not. No, what the thing is, I think we had the best. I don't want to say era because it sounds like it's, but I think Tiger Woods made everyone hit it further, made everyone up their game, made everyone improve. I mean, if you listen to that Hank Haney, did you say, Scott, you'd listen to it?
Listen to Hank Haney. Yeah, amazing book.
The book was just, he smashed everyone every single time. I mean, the guy was just incredible, and I think without him, golf level wouldn't be where it is today.
Well, of course it would. Yeah, I don't think it would at all. He was the pinnacle of the sport for so many years. But you look at it now, you got all these other golfers, but you could see. The two people who I think you said earlier about who's going to take over from the sport. I don't think anyone's not take over completely, but if anyone's going to be close to winning the majors they've won, I mean like the greatest Jack and Tiger Woods, I think it'll be rather, if he sorts how it's put in, Roy McIlroy will just turn up to a tournament and just whitewash everybody. And then Dustin Johnson, he won so easy. I say easy, he won so easy, but in Dubai, he just seemed to it was effortless. He just seemed to be just sinking everything he looked at. Yeah. He was on his numbers. The Masters.
He literally walked that.
Yeah, he just walked around the course like he was having a jolly. And he can't even say people dumped it in the pond in Rays Creek, because they didn't. Everyone was trying to nip at his heels, And he went on and just thought, we're on about, guys. And then
but mind you,
I'm looking forward to this one.
If you can hit someone full pelt with your driver and not even like, did you see the footage that he's like hit a ball?
I did,
and he just went, what? It's just like, but if you could do that, and he's just like,
nothing phases him.
Nothing.
Yeah, and he just gets on and plays the game, and I love that about him. And when I was speaking to Claude Harmon, name drop, I do apologise. And he was just saying, might drop. And even he could see how passionate he was about it, and how I think he's going to be up there. And you think he's going to be next Slam. I think if he wins at the Players next week, and then goes on and which is easy doable. Yeah. If he wins at the Players, I'll have him for back-to-back Masters. 100%.
I think it'd be silly not to have him for back-to-back Masters. How well he's played the last few rounds. It's just like, it's incredible.
He will be favourite now, though, won't he?
Yeah, he's got to be. He's incredible.
Well, he's world number one still. He's the only person I could see him beating him is Brooks, maybe. But then with the Masters, with any golf tournament, who knows? You don't know who's going to turn up on the day. Anyone can win it.
But Colin as well. I can't remember his last name.
Malkow,
he was good on the weekend. Really good.
Really good. Really good.
But they reckon his iron play, his mid to like 6 iron, he puts that on closer on average than most tour players put their wedge.
Yeah.
That was the thing on the TaylorMade Tour kind of Instagram. That's what his go-to is, mid to slightly longer irons is that, and you just think radar, you just think, wow.
I love it. They're my irons. I love it on mid irons. I'm not very good. I say my shot games are alright, but yeah, you look at anyone turn up, but definitely Dustin Johnson at the minute, he doesn't seem to be unbeatable. If he like I said, if he wins the Players next week, he's bound to go on and go and have a run. I'll have him for one of the Masters, one of the majors this year, without a doubt.
I always did think Ricky would win one. I always put money on Ricky to win a major, but he just doesn't ever seem to. There's something, and he just needs one because he's got the ability. He's got the.
His putting averages for, I think it was not last season or the season before, were absolutely outrageous. He was number one ranked, wasn't he, in putting from 6 feet, 8 feet, whatever it was, and he just never missed a blooming ball. I just didn't understand how he didn't win more. It was crazy.
Yeah. You could say that about a lot of the guys. Luke Donald won number one. Lee Westwood. Yeah. Paul Casey. You could say a lot about the guys. All of them won WGCs, but none of them been any close to any majors. And the biggest one of all is Monty. Montgomery. You think about how he's not won. How has he not won a major? He's won
he was epic though, wasn't he?
He was brilliant. And he's going to win on the senior major.
Yeah, but I just think, what would you rather see? So someone, I can't remember who asked this, but like, what would you rather see, a Ryder Cup or an Open or a major kind of thing? What would you rather sit and watch?
To go and turn up to? Oh, definitely Ryder Cup, 100%. Ryder Cup at your own shore, be brilliant.
I'd be all over the Ryder Cup. And
I've been to the Open. I was lucky enough to go. Yeah, I've been lucky enough to go to the Open and sit there and watch it and walk the courses and stuff. And I've been to the Wentworth and watched it down there, but I've never been to Ryder Cup. But I'll be maybe next year when it's next year. Actually, now it'll be 2023. I think, won't it? I think the next Ryder Cup somewhere in Italy. We'll
be pretty impressive. Can't we just do a jolly there?
Jolly there. Fundamental podcast taking live from the Ryder Cup.
I'd be all over that.
Let's go big.
Yeah, I'd be all over that. I'd love that. I would absolutely love that, and be on the jars as well, because I didn't like a beer every now and then. Or cider, sorry. I'm a cider man now because I'm West.
I'm not sure they do cider in Italy though, Ben. I think you might have to get on the beer.
Yeah, I do travel well as well, so I can deal with a beer, or a gin and juice or something like that.
Ooh, yes.
Dead fancy, I am.
Dead fancy.
I am getting really conscious about time, Scott, and Not that I want to kick you off, because there's definitely a part 2 in this for sure. But we have to finish with our random quickfire questions that we talk about pretty much every single time. So they're not really quickfire because we talk about them for bloody 20 minutes anyway, which is why So, question, because I know you've played Pebble Beach, haven't you? You played Pebble Beach. Yeah, sneaky Instagram post on there. That's another mic drop. But I want to know the best course you've ever played, maybe that, and also the course that you want to play the most. So they're not quickfire as such, but best course you've ever played or favourite course ever played. It doesn't have to be the best condition, but your favourite.
Favourite course I've ever played, believe it or not, even though I played Pebble Beach and there is so much history around that, and I couldn't really take it all in. And I've played some great courses in England and stuff, but do you know what? For the moment and the way it was the King's course at Glen Eagles, which is the lesser of the 3, was phenomenal. And it was with my mates, my several mates, and the guys from the Grenadier Guards, and we just cruised around, had a caddy, and it was one of the best days going. And that was probably one of the best courses, and it was beautiful as well. The scenery was fantastic. So definitely, Glen Eagles, the King's course.
Yeah. All right, I've got that down. And then, course you would most want to play that you haven't played?
If people don't know it, well, you should. I wouldn't say Augusta, but I'd like to say it's just down the road from Pebble Beach, would be Cypress Point.
Do they play tour event? Any tour
just
events?
Because of the.
I've heard it. Why?
No.
Is that?
No tour events there. It's just there's only a few hundred members, and it just looks. You have a Google of it. It looks phenomenal.
Cypress Point,
absolutely phenomenal.
I'm sure it's on like one of the old school Tiger Woods games or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah,
Cypress
probably
Point?
is. Yeah,
I'm sure it is, because that's where I remember it from, and shooting like 22 under par and on the easy
for
mode.
9 holes.
Yeah.
For the front 2 holes.
I'm sure I've heard of it that way.
Yeah, I think it is. I've heard of it. Yeah.
All right, then.
Cypress Point, or probably definitely you would not want to play Augusta, but yeah.
I think that comes up all the time, isn't it? And I think I mentioned a few times before that Kailua in Hawaii.
Yeah, you said that.
Blooming filmed Jurassic Park. That's the geek in with me. But
then I'd love to have a go at the 17th at Sawgrass on the island. I'd love to have a go at that with the players. That would be that course as well. I mean, I'd love to play. There's so many courses. I can't pick one. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Right. Next questions. So you have to choose a caddy, or in fact, let's say choose a caddy. You can caddy for them, or they can be your caddy. A golfing professional that can be still with us or passed away, and a non-golfing player to caddy for you as well. So you got 2 to go for.
Oh, who would have caddy for me?
Could
be anybody.
Any golfer.
Oh, do you know what? Just for the crack, and because he has a cart, I'd have John Daly to caddy for me.
Yes.
I would be all over that. Have you seen that YouTube video of him in his back garden somewhere? And he's got his cart. He's got a pair of like ripped jeans on, no shoes, no shirt, cigarette hanging out his mouth, and he's just whacking balls all over. I think it's genius.
I don't even have caddy for me, just because probably you wouldn't play golf. We'd just go around drinking whiskey, maybe. Yeah. He sounds pretty cool. And then a non-golfing caddy, did you say?
Yeah. Can be famous, doesn't have to be a famous, but it's up to you.
If they're a bit older, I'd have my 2 daughters. One would carry just a bag and one would just come along for the crack.
Carry the beer.
Carry the beer.
Scott, how old are they?
5 and 3.
Perfect. To start playing golf.
Yeah, perfect. I'm going to get one of them into it, don't you worry.
Yeah, too right.
One of it into it, yeah, definitely. I don't know. That's a tough one. Who would I have? I don't know. I'd like to tell you what. He's actually a caddy. I'll have Billy Foster. Tell me some Seve stories.
His impression of Seve and talking about that hole in the gap of the trees hitting over water, it's genius. I love it. Absolutely love that.
Yeah, I've spoken to him as well. He's on the Instagram page. Very good interview.
Yeah, he's done everyone.
I'll go and watch on that as well. I'm catching up on quite a lot.
Have you got anyone coming up, Scott? Have you got anyone coming up?
No, I've been trying to get a few, but obviously there's a lot happening at the minute. So they've got the players and the stuff going on. And the last one, Marcus Armitage, the last one was fantastic. That was just real cool. Yeah, really nice bloke, really down to earth. The bullet. And if you've never heard that story, go to the Instagram page and listen to the story why he's called the bullet. You would never think for 1,000 years why he's called that, which is fantastic. I won't give it away for people who are listening, but yeah, get onto Instagram and listen to that why it's called that.
Right, and then last question, and this one's a bit of an open one. Your dream four ball. It can be absolutely anybody, dead or alive, in terms of professional golfers, non-sporting people. They can be celebrities, whoever. It can be your dream four ball to have a nice conversation walking around a golf course.
Well, there's three of us here, so we just need one more. So we can choose the one once again.
What a suck up!
Oh, we love that. You can come any day of the week, Scott.
That's it. I mean, I said this before, and I look any four ball, any chance to play a professional golfer and watch their swing and walk around it and do it. So I'm going to give you two. My dream four ball. I lost my mum when I was a very young lad. I was only probably about 16 when mum passed away. She doesn't play golf, and obviously neither do my daughters. But just the opportunity to walk around a golf course and I chew the fat with them, my mum and my two daughters would be great. So that'd be my dream four ball. But if I was going to have a crack with the guys, it'd have to be, and it just because he seems such an absolute legend of a bloke and just have so many stories. And I'm picking out some guys who are just real cool blokes. So Rich Beam, because he just seems awesome, yeah. And who else? Everyone would want to say Tiger, Rory McIlroy, Justin Johnson, right? But you want guys who are going to entertain you and not just be about them hitting lasers down the fairway. So I'd probably play with Rich Beam, Graham Clark, because he's such a cool bloke, right? He just seems to laugh. He drinks the whiskey. He looks like he smells like cigars. What a man. Yeah. So him, Rich Beam, me, and then who else would I have? And it's probably then got to be one of the greats. I'd say Jack.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That would be pretty cool, right?
That picture you sent me of Jack the other day, I loved, by the way.
You see that, right? How cool that bloke was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean him, or he could go on for ages. Him, Arnold Palmer, and then even them, Gary Player. I mean, listen to them three. Just argue with it all. But then you'd want to go and play with Rory McIlroy, Justin Johnson, and somebody else. But it's hard, isn't it? That question. But them two, I'm going to stick with them two.
That's cool. They're good ones.
They're really good ones, and I think, to be fair, we can say anybody, can't you? And you can give a good enough reason about who you'd want to play with and why you'd want to play with them. It's just incredible. But I just want to not wrap it up as such, but unfortunately we have to. Because I think I need something to eat again, as always.
I need to go to the loo because I've drank so much liquid.
But
are you drinking? Was he drinking gin and tonics? Or the cans of gin and tonics?
No, so this is a pint of water to help with this. I'm not an alcoholic, but this is what I've just got.
Just smashing them in. Brew dogs and all sorts. So
Brewdog, my new Hazy Jane, which is delish, and Diet Coke.
Good lad. I love that.
That's probably why I feel hydrated.
Other than that, it's been amazing having you on. I think it's incredible.
Yeah, Scott's been cool.
And I just want to say thank you very much for sharing and being so honest about things and giving me some grief when I need to have some grief, and just I think it's been incredible. I've learned a lot tonight, and I can't but nothing but respect you. I just think it's incredible, your journey that you've been on, and everything that you're doing for the Back Golf guys, and just helping individuals with lottery tickets and paying for their McDonald's. What a gentleman. Thank you very much. Anytime, and not to bring other stuff up, but and I say this, I don't say it quite a lot, but people say, all the armed forces, the heroes, and all that stuff. We joined the service knowing full well what was going to happen and what was going to go through, and the potential of going to war. The real heroes are the people like yourselves. Like
Ben and Emma, you two there are the real heroes, because you're giving us the platform to voice our worries and our problems, and to get them out there so people are aware of what's going on. So if it wasn't for guys like you and inviting me onto the podcast and having a chat, well, Back wouldn't have a voice to say hello, and guys want to know about it. So you two are the real heroes. So thank you very much for that.
No, I'm not having that, Scott. I'm going to go and tell everyone you're a hero.
Yeah, absolutely.
Honestly, Scott, I think it's been one. I literally have almost cried. I have held my finger to stop crying. I just think it's wonderful, and you can talk all day long, and I could listen to you. Wow, I could listen to you for another 5 hours, even though I can't. But yeah, Scott, thank you so much. It's been absolutely wonderful.
So thank you very much. Take care of yourself, and we'll speak to you next time in the future, the very near future.
All the best, and we'll see you on the fairway soon. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Take care.
Bye-bye.